It is March 28th, 2021, and welcome to episode 3 of Pineapples and Thorns, a Clash Files podcast focusing on all things Clash. In today's episode, we had the pleasure of interviewing OU and Sid from KGH Academy. We hope you enjoy the show.
Feel the sweat on my hands, it's time to play Clash of Clans. Training my troops up to fight, it's gonna be a long night. Toss and turn in the dark, soon the fighting will start. I wanna be a barbarian.
Welcome back. We're super excited to have everybody here for episode 3. We have a really exciting episode for you guys. Topic that I've been super interested in ever since I started Clash back in 2014, and that's playing at the competitive level. And we're definitely going to have some awesome questions, hopefully that are super interesting and informative. Let's go ahead and say hey to our regular host. Kat, you doing okay today?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Any info, any updates to your village?
Nope, it's just busy farming away on my new 13 and my new 12, so.
Very nice. Butters, you doing good?
Yeah, doing well. Hips are a little tight, stretch them out, so I'm ready to go.
Does that come with age, or does that come with working out?
No, that comes with, a little bit of both, I think. But maybe tried to act like I was a little too young yesterday, and the hips got a little tight, but we're okay. We'll battle through it.
So I have a little news. Actually, my wife's picked up Clash a couple weeks ago, and I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but she decided that she was going to throw her hat in the KGH ring. And so now I'm a little scared at what Butters is going to have to say to her after her attacks.
She's new. I will be a well-behaved Butters.
Definitely take care of her. Actually, this week is her birthday, so make sure you guys throw a big celebration in the clan. It's on the 30th, so this podcast will come out after her birthday, but in a couple days, you guys have to say something about that. I know she'll appreciate it.
Marking it down.
So, Butters, you want to go ahead and introduce our prestigious guests?
Absolutely. So I'd like to introduce two of our guests here that are coming from KGH and also KGHA. OU, he joined Kent Greenhouse in the summer 2019, went from an elder to a co-leader. Great help, great attacker. And also like to welcome Sid in. He joined KGH in November 2019 and also caught leadership's notice with his helpful attitude, which I've kind of adopted Sid in. He's my East Indian son, so I'd like to welcome him. Both of them are actually leaders, proud members of the Butters. It says fan club, but that's not the actual name of it. They're leaders of the club, and I had to do it. Sorry, I apologize. Another swear word will not come out. But to get into this club, it's usually someone that calls me on my crap. So won't take my whining or my pouting, and then they'll usually call me out on it, and that's usually how they get in. So yeah, really proud to introduce both of these gentlemen. And if you guys could just maybe tell us a little bit more about you and about your Clash experience, and let's start with OU.
Well, first of all, I want to say that Tippy, your wife did awesome. She three-starred her first war attack in KGH,
Yep.
All good on that front.
Go Dragons.
Yeah. Secondly, apologize for my rally English. So all the listeners, you'll just have to bear with listening to some rally English now. So I just looked up in when the game was downloaded, and I found out that my game was downloaded on 26th of August 2012. And I think that's like 1 or 2 weeks before Clash of Clans came out. But I did it for my kids, so I didn't really play it. And then a couple of years later, I looked over the game again when my kid was playing it, and I thought this looked really cool because they had introduced something called Wars. This was in the beginning of May 2014. So after that, I took the game from him and have been never letting that account go. And that's also the story behind my name, OU. He created that account on my tablet, and so I don't know why I'm OU, but since then on, I'm OU.
And what town halls do you play? What do you have for town halls, and what's your favorite town hall?
I have my original account, OU. He's now max 13. I'm just like a week ago, so woohoo!
Congrats.
That's pretty sweet. Yeah, it's a long process. I mean, it only took me, 9 years. but got there in the end. 2 others that I play, I have new Town Hall 12 Mini OU, and then I have Max 9 that I play some leagues with, which is Micro OU. Then I have Nano OU, Pico OU, and some Decis and Timidly as well. But once this game catches you, you start creating more and more accounts whenever you're bored. But I open builder base on none of my new
That's
accounts.
good to hear.
It's only OU and mini OU.
That is good to hear. And what's your favorite town hall?
I'll have to say 12. I mean, maybe because I haven't gotten into the groove and swing of Town Hall 13 play, but I really enjoyed gameplay at Town Hall 12. And it was also probably because it was pre all buffs from Supercell. It was pre the Zap buff, etc. I really enjoyed doing Queen Charge Hybrid or Queen Charge Hog,
Nice.
so, or Lalo.
Nice. And Sidhan, did I pronounce that correctly? Have I been pronouncing that correctly? Tell us a little bit more about yourself and what town halls you have, what you like to play the most, which town hall is your favorite.
Okay, honestly, you've been butchering it.
Good. So now's the time to correct it. So what is the my English is worse than yours. So what's the best way to pronounce that, or the proper way?
You can do okay. So it's actually Siddhant,
Close.
and if whenever I've been to Europe and US, I usually tell my people to call me Sid. So
Okay, that's perfect. Perfect. That's from now on. It's just Sid.
But yeah, thanks for having us on. I mean, we absolutely love the podcast over at KGHA. And so how I got into the game, let's say, I remember when Jake from One Hive was, I don't know if you guys remember, but he was big into the war community, and he was really like the sole voice. I mean, there were a couple other who popped up, but it was mainly him. So I got into that, competitive, like I really enjoyed watching that play. So that got me into the game, and I had a 9 at the time. So, I mean, that was the absolute sweet spot of Clash. So apart from that, so yeah, that's how I got into the game. As far as what tunnels I have a max 11, a max 9, and a max 5. So don't ask why I have a Town Hall 5. My favorite has to be Town Hall 11, though, especially the no siege format. But Town Hall 9, especially during, the golden age of Clash, that was definitely my favorite. And it was my first love, too.
We know why you did a Town Hall 5, because you went in that little tournament. So let's not start this podcast off with you lying. So.
And it kind of leads into our next question is, how long have you been playing in leagues, and what kind of league experience have you had before KGHA? Sid, do you want to take that first?
Yeah, actually, interestingly, when Town Hall 9 was the sweet spot, I only got to a level 15 queen. It was so hard to farm. It was insane at the time. I never got to do those tournaments, which people did, and those arranged matchups. So I actually haven't done leagues before KGHAs, which means I think puts it around 8 months of league since the clan's birth. But yeah, I've been absolutely loving it.
Oh, you? How about you?
Yeah, I'm an old timer, but I'm consider myself like a competitive league player. I'm a casual league player. I started very early on. I think end of season 2 of Champions War League. So that was just when the sort of arranged league wars and friendly wars started popping up on the scene. So yeah, been around for a while, but I haven't been playing that competitively. I've been doing the odd league wars here and there and so forth. So not like super competitively.
Oh, I have a quick question for you. Did you war competitively at all before Champions War League? There wasn't really. Champions War League was the first that was really set up. First, not Supercell official, but first official War League that was regulated, and they had tournaments and all of that. Prior to that was the top war clans. And honestly, it was just kind of an ad hoc group of clans that warred each other. And then their wars were put in a database. They didn't even have friendly wars back then. So you had to measure weights, push the spin button, and just cross your fingers and hope that you would actually match up. Did you war at all during that period of time?
I didn't, but I did follow them because I remember, even pre Jake from One Hive, I remember following what is called the Green Man, Hulk. He was from down under, from Australia, from Ready Troopers, I think, and Holo Wee Wee was one of his favorite strategies to put guides on, etc. So back when Town Hall 9 was the bomb. Yeah, so I kind of followed it, but I didn't play. Then only once the Power Bank came out with the CWL Season 1 sort of videos, I thought, hey, shit, I need to get into this stuff. Then I joined the Finnish War Clan. I had been in Finnish Clan. I'd basically been in one clan family for my entire Clash career, and I wanted to see a little bit the Finnish war side. So shout out to the guys in VE, Varhaiseläke, MacGyver, and VB, the White Barbarian, who are now playing in VM as well, Waller Malgudli. So.
Very nice. Yeah, I remember Hulk and Jake, and I used to watch a lot of Gotti HH. Those three were the war community YouTubers, and that was pre any support of Supercell, most definitely. And then Powerbang started to get into it. So yeah, those were the good old days, most definitely. The good old days of Town Hall 9 attacks, Town Hall 9 wars. Town Hall 10 just wasn't worth getting into because you couldn't 3-star. So yeah, I definitely
Yeah, and
remember those
I
days.
remember, I mean, when I joined VE and started playing, I was like a mid Town Hall 10, and they had this sort of system that you had certain points for the defenses, etc. You needed to have certain number of Town Hall 10s in tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, etc. And it was a pain, I mean, to play Town Hall 10. And that's honestly, I've quit the game for almost a year, and that was the second time after playing for one season there, because it was so frustrating. It was so damn difficult to get the 3-star at Town Hall 10 because there was no sieges, you couldn't heal through the infernos, etc. You had to take like 8-9 hits at one base to get one triple. And I mean, if you got like 2-3 Town Hall 10 triples, you were golden for the war. You could count that as a win.
Yeah, I remember when Jake used to show videos of Rex Tacey. I'm not sure if you remember him or not. That's an OG player back in 2014, 2015. But he was the only Town Hall 10 that I ever saw do a triple on other Town Hall 10s. And it was literally 5%. His 3-star rate was maybe 5 to 10%. And he was good too. I remember watching his attacks on Jake's channel and just being in awe at how good he was at that time. And now we look at it, a 5 to 10% 3-star rate, like that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But back then, I mean, it was the standard.
Yeah. So going back to KGHA, have you been doing in your league play lately? Like, have you won any tournaments or league championships yet, or?
No, we haven't won anything yet, but we've been doing pretty good. I mean, we don't participate in the most competitive leagues because we're a very new sort of league clan, and we're also a learning league clan. So it's more about the process of learning different league strategies and league attacks, etc. And so it's not like a super competitive league clan. So we haven't played in the toughest leagues, but I think we made like quarterfinals in all the leagues we participated in except the NDL one, and that was kind of a reality check for us as well to see, okay, we still have some way to go to be among the best league clans out there.
Yeah. That's a really a great opportunity for people, and really interesting because you wonder what inspired you guys to decide to take that on to start a league-focused clan.
I mean, it was a terrible MLCW performance. I remember we did it as like a cross CFF clan, and we did really badly because everybody kind of just came into the clan and did their attacks, etc., and then they left, and nobody was really working on their attacks, working on their bases, working on the things you need to work on in order to be competitive at league play, and we got whooped big time. And I think like our Town Hall 11 hit rate was, I don't know, like it was pre-zap, so it wasn't quite as easy as now, but it was still like atrocious. It was the league's worst. I think we had like 20% or something like that.
Wow. So can you elaborate on your goals for the clan R specifically?
I mean, our goal, I guess, is to build it up, I mean, in time to be a proper league clan, more competitive. But we're going to start from being a learning clan and building it slowly up. So as time goes on, we're going to enter more and more competitive leagues. But at this stage, we're very happy trying to learn and get more people into the league scene and league play, competitive play scene. So it's really to kind of take those active players that are super active but not quite still at the competitive level and try to get them up to the competitive level. Those that are interested in it, want to do it.
Do you guys participate in specific leagues? Are there leagues that you're striving to get into? Or I guess I'm asking from the perspective of I'm coming into this brand new. Back when I played competitively, there really were no leagues. I mean, as I was talking earlier, there was the Top War Clan that was just a list of clans that we followed on Twitter, basically. Maybe 20 or 30 clans that participated, but there were no tournaments. There were no specific matchups. It was just if you happened to get a match off of a spin, then the results of that match were recorded into this database. So I'm clueless as far as exactly what leagues are available and what leagues you want to get into as a new league play clan.
I mean, it's crazy. It's the number of leagues out there nowadays is just mind-boggling. Because, I mean, as you said, there used to be like the odd only 1 or 2 leagues. But nowadays there's just so many different leagues. And you can look at there, they do have different levels. So maybe you got to know a little bit, in terms of what it is. But War Match is a great tool to look it up. You can go to warmatch.us, and then you look at leagues, and then you look at the different leagues, and you look at hit rates. And then you select one of those leagues that have a lower hit rate, and typically you can then try to find out what their Discord server is, and then you can see when the next season opens up, etc., and then join that one. So that's the way we kind of look at it. So we don't go for the most competitive, but we go for somewhere in the mid terms of competitiveness of the leagues. Maybe Sid can tell about our current leagues where we are. We're playing in 2 different divisions, so maybe he could give an overview of that, because I've been talking enough already.
No, yeah, absolutely. So we're doing 2 divisions in the Global Clash Cup currently, and one is a mixed breakdown. So you have Town Hall 13s, 12s, and 11s all mixed up, and the other one is one that I really love, this Town Hall ESL style, where you do Town Hall 11 5v5. So obviously Town Hall 11 is pretty easy with that, but what they've done is you have to use Town Hall 11 troops, and you can't get any siege machines. So that makes the difficulty a lot harder. And as someone who absolutely loved Town Hall 9 at its peak, it somewhat resembles that. It's not quite as hard, but it is fun plan. So.
And what is ESL for those who are listening?
ESL, these are 5v5 wars, and the way it works is you have a very short prep, and they need to be with 1 hour battle. And what they do is they try to make it streamer friendly. So instead of everyone hitting whenever they want to, you have to hit at a specific time during the war. So the first team may hit at 45 minutes left in the war, and then the second one can hit right after the first one finishes, and they go back and forth. So what that allows for is streamers and people tuning in can actually enjoy the game instead of having to stream like a 12-hour war or something.
So I'm sure that both of you remember when league play started, and if I remember right, Champions War League is kind of the OG league. Is that the top league currently in the game? I honestly have no clue. And could you maybe list some of the leagues?
Yeah, it's probably for the mixed sort of leagues. But to be honest, mixed leagues and 24-hour wars, that's dying out to a degree. That's not where the top players are anymore. The top players are now in this sort of esports format where you do 1 hour quick wars, and you basically hit back to back, alternating between the 2 different sides. Basically what you can see from the World Championships. And that's the pinnacle of the game at the moment, is in the World Championships that Clash of Clans arranges. Those are quick wars. They are only Town Hall 13, but you can do them at all Town Hall levels. And the ESL that helps Clash of Clans do some of these tournaments, they did the tournament for each Town Hall from 5 to 13 in the early days when after the first World Championships. And KSO Cup has started doing it, and there are others as well. And most sort of league organizations nowadays also have esports formats at different Town Hall levels. And that's where the future is, because it's so much streamer friendly. That was the problem that Powerbang was always complaining, is like, it's super fun to participate in a 24-hour war for those participants, but it's not media friendly.
Yeah.
You never know who's going to go in and when, and you can't kind of cover 24 hours. It's difficult. Typically, people hit early in the war, and then maybe you go to the last 2 hours of the war. But it's still not, it's still not streamer friendly. But having everything, the entire war decided within a 1 hour window or a 40-minute window, that's awesome for media coverage.
Yeah. A quick interjection. I do remember back the first round of the Town Hall Cups, it really seemed to inject some excitement into the game for the lower Town Halls again, because everybody was making a new Town Hall 5 account and maxing it out. And it really rejuvenated Town Hall 9, I think, in my opinion, and led to the NDL Flyweight League and similar ones.
Yeah, and that could be why Sid also has a Town Hall 5. I don't know.
It could be, yeah. Is that why Sid?
Do all 3 of you organize the wars, Sid, Butters, and OU? Or do you have a hierarchy in who organizes these things?
Yeah, Butters don't do crap.
No, yeah.
But
He's exactly right. I just give everybody a headache. No, you know what? It's when it comes to plans and doing the plans, Sid and OU are right on there. Organizing and getting it going. Thor Hubs, he's obviously huge. He does a lot of it. And that's what I kind of want to point out about about KGHA is the leadership there is excellent. They're always getting wars going. We don't really take breaks. As soon as one league's done, we tend to jump right into the next one too, and finding these 5x5s and all these new little things too to add a little wrinkle. They do an awesome job, that's for sure. And OU's right. I really don't do much.
So, Sid, what is it like organizing a league war versus organizing an esports war? Do you have a preference for which?
I guess I prefer to play esports, but I definitely prefer to organize the regular ones. The way organizing works is you have to talk to your opponent, and esports, you usually have to DM them. They just tell you who your opponent is, and you have to DM them or make a group on Discord. And it gets messy because you have to do a 1 hour war, and we must be one of the few teams on the 5v5. Interestingly, we have people from 3 different countries doing a 5v5. So managing a 1 hour during the week, pretty tough. But I think as far as setting it up, like there's other things that go into it. So we have preparation where you have to do base building and you have to test those bases. And we'd like to get friendly challenges going as well before League Wars. But as far as the admin side, you just have to negotiate a date and time with your opponent. And that's much easier when you have a bigger war.
So it seems like with an esports war, you're dealing directly with your opponent. When you have a league sports war, I'm assuming that that's maybe a 15 town hall breakdown or a 30, 20, 25, 30 town hall breakdown. Basically, your opponents are given to you. I guess I'm just trying to find out more details about town halls versus only 5v5 in an esports war. But what are some of the main differences between the two?
So yeah, you nailed it as far as how the opponents are given to us. And honestly, the biggest difference is just negotiating the war. So especially the big town hall. So in the big town hall, as for us, we're happy to spin at whatever time because we have people from all over. So anyone can do the war spin, right? But we also prefer to have a longer war because again, everyone's from all over. So we want them to be able to attack during their time of day. And with esports, when you only have 1 hour, we've actually got into some tangles with the opponent because they'll tell us, we want to do a weekday war and we want to do it at this specific time. And we're just like, well, that doesn't work for us. So now what? So,
Most of us, for the 1 hour war, I mean, we're not super competitive players, so we don't spend so many hours on the game. We have our other lives. I mean, we're studying or working or whatever. So trying to then find a 1 hour slot that fits people from the 3 different time zones, it's hard. I mean, Tribe Gaming had difficulties, and they were competitive with just 2 time zones, sort of. It's difficult playing the 5v5 sort of games if people are from many places.
Just to add, you guys are really good. Like I went and watched your KG8 5v5 e-tournament e-match last Sunday. I popped in and you guys did really well. Everybody, if you didn't 3-star, it was a 96, 97%. I don't know that I expected that, to be honest with you, especially hearing that you guys were starting out. You hadn't been in it that long. You guys actually have done really well. And I know that you've talked about how you started off really low in the rankings and really low hit rate. Obviously, you've done a lot of work.
yeah, I guess we have a lot of people who have that drive to learn and get better. So that really helps in terms of improving. So I think right now we have at least 25 people who are pretty excited about every league war and every tournament we do. So that's helped us improve massively in terms of base building, hit rates, everything. So yeah, we're pretty grateful for our members.
So, Sid, if you have 25 people who are interested in playing, esports is only 5v5. How do you do the choosing on who actually participates?
It's tough, honestly. But one part of it is it's only Town Hall 11. So that does narrow it down from the 25. And another part is some people just don't want to do it because in a normal war, you're not going to not have a siege machine. So some people aren't particularly interested in doing that, which is all right. But Butters actually is on the Town Hall 11 team, and he absolutely loves it as well. So if some people love it, some don't. So it makes it easier to choose.
So, Butters, how did you get to be such a good no siege machine town hall ever attacker?
I love when Kid is put in front of my attacks because honestly, they don't good wins don't happen very often. I love failing. Like I don't care if I fail. So for me, a town hall should be really, really hard to 3-star. So that's what really drew me to the no siege. It's hard to 3-star. Sid's being modest. He really he took it by the reins, and we pretty well put there. If you want to be on the team, you got to FC. You got to FC before. Let's see what you can do. Let's see what your attack style is, and work on some strats and find a strats. And with that, we're able to find a pretty good strat that for people that that are myself that tend to be a little spammy just because the easier the plan is, the less that can go wrong. So finding that tack to use right away before our kind of war started, I think helped a lot. So really, Sid pushing people made that 5x5 team get better each week. And then OU obviously helps with the plans.
Butters, you mentioned...
No.
Go ahead, OU.
No, I don't do anything on Town Hall 11. I was stupid enough to upgrade my Town Hall 11 to 12, so I can't participate now.
For the record, I told him he'd regret it. He still did it.
Yeah, you did, and I was contemplating it a lot as well. But then I kind of was thinking maybe the 14 is coming out soon, and then 11 will be kind of obsolete, etc. So I went ahead and did it, and yeah, I kind of a little bit regret it, but it's been fun watching it. And what I do on the 11 side is only help people keep their time, because with this sort of schedule, it's very hectic. I mean, because you have 15-minute prep, and then you just fill the CCs, and then you have like 15 minutes from the start of the war for your first war hit to go in, and then you need to keep the time because you only have a 4-minute window in which each person needs to attack. So it really helps to have somebody that kind of looks over the war and sees that people go in the right order, etc. Because if you don't, then immediate DQ or at least a penalty. So that's my only role is kind of making sure that everybody attacks on time, etc.
That's interesting. So
get Yash in there so I don't have a heart attack.
So, OU, do you use specific tools whenever you're playing? I don't know if you do or not. I just heard of this tool called Burnt Base. Do you use War Match? Is there anything that you use to help your attacks whenever you're doing esports?
For esports specifically, nothing except Discord voice. I mean, in the 1-hour war, you can't do it. Like, it's very difficult to do it if you don't voice.
Right.
Because everybody has to be on and select which bases, and you need to be so quick about it. In a 24-hour war, it's easy enough to communicate over, written media, either, in-game chats people can use, they can make the notes on the war base, on the map, etc. Or you can use Discord and plan your attacks and who hits what pretty well. But for the esports, it's really, you got to be on voice and talk it through and decide collectively what you're going to do because it's such a quick war. Then in terms of burnt bases, etc., those are also too short to kind of use for the esports war. You can use that for a longer, for a 24-hour war, but sometimes I find it's good to make your own plan so you don't get tied into what the burnt base does. I mean, when it came out, we used it a lot because it was interesting, etc. Nowadays, we don't do it so much.
Butters, you were mentioning that maybe a little more spam strategies work in Town Hall 11 No Siege Wars. What are those strategies, and which ones do you prefer and use?
Well, I don't know if we should give out a secret. No, super archers doing well, and I shouldn't say that. Like dragons in the right hands, electric dragons, they seem to be working pretty well the last couple wars too. But I think if you need a 2 and you need a high percentage, you want to guarantee that. I think super archers is probably way to go. That's my opinion.
Sid, what about you?
Yeah, I absolutely love it as well. I mean, it's something I found a video of, I remember, and it was like an actually pretty old video. It was like when Super Archers just came out. I saw these people doing these. I'm not going to give details because, yeah, but what we did was after I saw that, and I hit Butters in an FC with it, and we're like, wow, this is strong. And we're like, okay. So I remember we actually did a voice session just to figure the strategy out. Just like, okay, what do we do with, like, how do we drop it? What do we zap? I think that was really fun, and we actually figured out what we should be doing at Town Hall 11, and I guess a 1-hour voice session, so it's been fun.
So, Sid, whenever you use super archers, I know that there are 2 kind of strats where you have one, the queen goes with your super archers and you put your healers on top of both at the same time. And then the other one is where you funnel and you separate your queen from your super archers and you have healers on both of the different groups. Which one do you use or prefer?
I prefer the where you split them. So you have your queen run around the base one way, and you have your super archers go the other way. So generating 8 or 9 healers, it seems kind of absurd, but it does work. So I'm not complaining. And you have 4 or 5 on your queen, and you have her walk either clockwise or anti-clockwise, and then you have your super archers work the other way. The only reason it's better than having them move together is because this doesn't time fail. Yeah, at least less likely to. The super archers, they're amazing, but they're slow. You want to minimize time wastage.
What about you, OU? Do you have any favorite attack strategies that you use, or what do you see the most at Town Hall 11 No Siege Wars, maybe Town Hall 12, lower town halls?
0-star lay low.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of a jack of all trades, master in none. So I've always, I do different kind of strategies. I probably don't have really a favorite. Maybe the hogs. Queen charge anything I like, and then I like hogs. But the thing is, I mean, what Sid and Butters were talking about was no siege machines and the saps. Take Town Hall 11 as an example. You sap out the typically multi-infernos, and then you can just spam those witches in a line. I mean, Butters monkey can do it. So yeah.
Oh,
Butters
my
loves it.
monkey just like
Yeah,
he starts hitting
he
his little
absolutely loves
things and gets excited.
so, so yeah, I'm not a huge fan of where the game is at the moment. I mean, I loved where the game was a year ago when Town Hall 12 was maxed and just when Town Hall 13 came out. That was really a good time because in order to get a good 3-star in most with most strategies, you needed a proper plan, and then they've made it. Every update they've made it easier and easier, and nowadays, I mean, the spam attack is a very viable strategy. I mean, you saw it in the World's warm-ups. I mean, almost half the attacks, I think, were Inferno drag spam by the pros, and there were a couple of Golem witch spams as well. So, yeah, not a fan of where the game is at the moment, but hopefully it'll get better. And luckily, we have all these sort of community-run events where you have specific rules where you can't take siege or etc. You can't take certain troops or use certain spells. Then you can make every town hall competitive. It's a little bit gimmicky because you need to have certain restrictions, but it's better than spamming every base with something.
Very true. So the community is deciding to do what Supercell is not willing to do at the moment.
Yeah, because I understand it from Supercell standpoint as well, because they do what's good for them. They want to have the casual player have fun and get 3 stars. But I think the competitive game suffers for that. But we got to understand, I mean, 90+% of the Clash of Clans players are casual. So they do enjoy getting those 3 stars. Maybe there's another solution, but that's but it's not really nice where the game is competitively at the moment, in my opinion. But hopefully it'll get better.
So, Sid, let me come to you. Obviously, competing at such a high level, especially doing esports, I can imagine that the stress of attacking is super high. How do you deal with the stress of looking at a base, coming up with a plan of attack, knowing that there are maybe 10, 15, 20, 30 people who are watching your attack at a time? What do you do in order to deal with that stress?
Oh yeah, the spectator thing is real. You know, when you see that number, the moment you press attack, you enter, and you see that number going up on the left side, it's just scary.
No.
Go away. But yeah, I feel like one thing that's helped me is I like to hit first. And I know it seems counterintuitive, but I like to go first. Like as soon as the war starts, within 15 minutes, I get my attack done with, and then I kind of stress free, you know, because as the war progresses, you kind of find out what you need to do to win, right? So you'd be like, okay, we need a 3-star to win, or we need a 2-star 80% to win. And I don't want that pressure, so I just attack first. So that helps me in a way. As far as stress, yeah, I think that's the main thing. I just hit first.
It's good that you triple all the time. I'm the opposite. I love hitting last. I love hitting towards the end of the war. I think if there's nothing on the line, I can't really sort of perform, and I love it. I don't know, maybe it's the adrenaline, or if the war has a lot on the line, then I typically perform better as well. But aside from my 0-star Lalo, but that's not something we're going to talk about.
That is something we should talk
about. So, Butters, how does your monkey deal with the stress whenever he attacks during esports wars?
Oh, he's stress free. That boy. Personally, doesn't matter to me when I hit, whether it's last, first. I get more not nervous, but like mad. Like if I just, because I always do something stupid, and when I do something stupid, then it can go off the rails. So that's usually my biggest thing. Part of it. I don't get stressed. I don't get worked up. Don't really care if I go first, last. If the pressure's there. If 20 people are watching, well, that's impossible. But if it's a full house watching, none of that really matters. It's just when you do dumb stuff and try not to throw the tablet.
Yeah, no, I know the feeling. Like if the attack feels like it went well and it just came up short, then I'm typically pretty good with it. I mean, I wish I would have gotten a 3-star, but whenever I fat thumb a rage spell out in the middle of the grass, or I release my king on the opposite side of the base than I intended to, that's when I get really upset and I feel like I need to throw my tablet. So I totally get it. So, Kat, we haven't really talked to you much at all about this. You have league experience, but not as much in the esports side.
Of course, I've done some of the different tournaments, Town Hall 9, rostered with KGHA on my 11. I've only done one war with them, though. They probably fired me. But no, I'm doing some league with VM right now. We're doing CWL Old School, which is a lot of fun. Town Hall 9, 10, 11. So that's kind of fun to get into. But yeah, I'm really enjoying that.
So, Sid, how do you guys recruit? Obviously, you're going to do better in tournaments the more better players that you have on your team, the more options that you have, the better quality FCs that you can do in the clan. What do you guys do to recruit new players who are good?
Actually, interestingly, we don't do any screening in the sense you don't have to have a tryout or a test. All we do is we just ask for a few things. We want activity. We want people who are willing to learn with us. So we honestly feel if you're active and you may not be too good, you still learn with us as long as you do the FCs and the friendly wars and everything we participate in, because we're all learning as well. And as far as recruiting, anyone who joins the Clash File server can ask about KGHA. We'll ask you a little bit about yourself, but we don't have any tryouts, so you don't have to show us that you can attack or anything. All we ask for is activity.
So
go ahead, Kat.
I was going to say, what do you base participation in league on? Do you base it on a hit rate or just participation in the clan activity?
Yeah, a combination of those things. We like to look at what you've done. If you've been in league so far, we like to look at your hit rate overall. That does help us. Another thing is activity. So if you just show up, do your 2 attacks, and you're off for the war, then we don't really exactly love that. So versus someone who may actually fail an attack, but they're helping other people plan and voice. So we do value those things a lot more as well. I think at the end of the day, if everyone has to learn, and you need people to help each other learn, you can't just show up, do your attack, and leave.
Or they look like what my attacks did today when I just showed up, did a quick plan, and hit. They look pretty crappy.
They were fun to watch, though.
So what kind of advice would you guys give to the average player who wants to up their game and maybe move into the more competitive war scene? OU?
Yeah, I think repetition is the mother of all learn. I think that applies here. So FC, FC, FC. Try to learn one strategy would be my advice. I mean, one strategy you like to do and get really good at it. I would recommend people to learn it, watch YouTube, different, sort of tutorials, how to do the strategy, and FC a lot. Go to one of the FC clans. Each town hall level has an FC clan that does FCs only for that town hall, and visit that frequently and hit, repeat. Then you start getting sort of a feel of bases your attack works on, because you've hit a million different bases, what bases it doesn't work on, and you'll also get better at executing that attack. Then once you have one attack, then then I think you're sort of ready to enter league play, and then you can start expanding from there. But my advice would be get one attack, get really good at one attack, because what league clans can then do is they can easily sort of assign people, because different people will be more suitable for different bases. And if you have a large player pool, then it's easy to sort of, hopefully you can get the bases that the opponent has with the attack strategies that your people are good at. You can get them to match.
Awesome. Sid, what about you? Do you have any advice for people?
Oh, pretty much in line with OU, but I would definitely join the FC clans. They're fantastic. I've actually gone there so many times now that I'm pretty much a regular. The leader knows me, so he won't kick me even if I log out. So, yeah, I mean, it's a great place to learn, the FC clan. That's how I learned the Town Hall 11 strategies without sieges.
So what do you guys mean by FC clans?
All right, so every town hall has one. I think 11 and 12 have 2 each. But basically, what it is, anyone can join. There's no trophy requirement or anything. Anyone can join. And once you join, you just see a bunch of people just doing friendly challenges. And the funny part is because you have 25 or 30 people online, and you can't scout a base. Before you press attack, someone's going to take it. Essentially, you have to have fast fingers. I know Butter struggles with this, but you have.
This is not an old man's game now.
So bad do I want to do it, and every time I go to the FC clan, I just get so frustrated. I'm like, attack. I go, I know I hit that first.
And there have been times where you hit attack at the same time as someone else, and my game just completely freezes. It just doesn't want to work after that. So, but it's an experience, and yeah, I think that's a great place to learn. Of course, join learning clans. So KGHA, the entire system, KGH, KGHA. It's a great place to learn.
So how would people find KGHA? And can you guys kind of give, I guess, your contact info, what Discord server they need to join, what they need to look for, who they need to talk to? OU?
Yeah, just join discord.gg/flashfiles and ask for KGHA. You get into that server. So just through the normal CFF server, you can ask for KGHA, and then we can take it from there. So it's super easy. Discord.gg/flashfiles.
So do you guys have any closing comments for our listeners? Sid, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, honestly. So one thing I really want to talk about is if you're looking to dip your feet into competitive Clash, we're a great option, and not just us, but you really should be looking. If you're one of those casual players, try checking out competitive Clash. I think it's something I absolutely love, and we do. And when you're dipping your feet into competitive Clash, check out learning clans. So KGS, KGHA, they're great places. And yeah, I've absolutely loved being with this family for the past year and a half now.
It's definitely a good family. I love CFF. Some great people. OU, do you have any final shout outs or comments?
Yeah, just to chime in with Sid, is like once you go league, you don't go back up. That random wars don't feel like nothing. So it's really addictive and hooking to a little bit more competitive side of it. So it's super fun.
Very nice. Butters, do you have any final comments?
No, just kind of echo what they're saying. If you do want to be a little competitive and still have a casual part of it, joining KGHA, it's a great place to do it. Great people around that clan to help out, and they run it right. So great kudos to them. And along with, a couple of the others that are really big, Torhub, Forko's big, Prane, and I'm saying butchering names. I know I am. And I'm also forgetting people, but there's a lot of people involved that do a really, really good job.
So I want to shout out my wife this week. She's picked up Clash again. She's super excited about it. As I said earlier in the podcast, she joined KGH. I know that she has a lot of great support in you guys, and she's going to have a lot of fun, most definitely, especially when you have Butters in the same clan. I don't know whether I should be worried or not, but
We'll see if she joins the club or not. Well, the cat took a long time to get into the club, and then finally, I don't know why she was giving me the gears on something, so she finally made it.
What was the name of this club? It was bleeped out earlier, so I couldn't hear it.
Yeah, it's the Butters Club, and you can join your own risk.
Very nice.
Oh, it's a lovely place.
Forko and Bobby are also honorary members of the Butters B Club.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're big. They're up there.
It's just a list of everyone Butters love.
That is true. That is true.
Okay, on my side, I want to give a little bit of a shout out to Rusty. He's busy moving this weekend, so he's got his hands full. I know he wanted to be here, but moving is a big job, so he had to focus on that.
Yeah, good luck, Rusty.
Oh, and also he does the negotiations for us.
He wasn't here. He wasn't here.
And I just wanted to say thanks to OU and Sid again for sharing your experiences and insights with us.
We love you, Rusty.
And
we love you, Rusty.
And as always, to our listeners, please send us your ideas on what you want to hear on the show. You can contact us at Twitter at KGH Podcast, or hop into the Discord server at discord.gg/clashfiles.
I'm ready for war, like I've been here before. Feel the sweat on my hands, it's time to play Clash of Clans. Training my troops up to fight, it's gonna be a long night. Toss and turn in the dark, soon the fighting will start. I wanna be a barbarian, I wanna live the life they lead. Standing tall, smashing walls, doing whatever it takes to succeed. I wanna be a barbarian, like I'm never coming back. Ready for war, thirsty for more, leaving all fear and regrets in the past. Countdown starts, it's bleed, I hear the fight is free. Flashing swords have sung, the war has finally begun. Nervous fingers shake, is this the time I will take? Restarts for my clan, will they give us a chance? I wanna be a barbarian, standing tall, smashing walls, doing whatever it takes to succeed. I wanna be a barbarian, like I'm never coming back. Ready for war, thirsty for more.